Hey everyone, I'm Brittany Jones Cooper, and today I'm chatting with Mena Suvari. In her new memoir, The Great Peace, the actress bravely opens up about her past experiences with sexual abuse and how she reclaimed her power. Welcome, Mena. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good.
You know, I read the book. It is so honest and so vulnerable. How does it feel for you that people are going to get to read your real story?
And this was something that I felt like I so desperately needed to do because for so long I felt like I had nothing to say, or whatever I considered wanting to say had no value. So this means a lot.
And you start the book with a revelation that you discovered a suicide note you had written as a teen. How did it feel for you to read that note so many years later?
It was strange because upon looking back, I knew that my life only got worse after that. So that was a little upsetting. And I'm only grateful that that was just a note that lived in the back of my diary.
When you were 12 and you talk about your virginity being taken by your brother's friend, which was rape, you said no. What do you hope people learn from reading that story?
I don't know exactly what they'll learn from it. I only share because it was important for me to share. This is how I saw it. I was the other person in the room. That was important for me to have out there. I feel like that was truly when things like set their course into disconnect, right? And survival.
You had a lot of these experiences before the age of 18. And then at 18, your career takes off with American Pie. So what was it like stepping into that character given what was happening in your personal life?
Work saved my life in a lot of ways because it gave me that release. It gave me that outlet. I mean, everyone was wonderful. It was incredible. I always said that I felt like working on American Pie gave me my high school experience.
And then on the flip side, you had a lot more complex character, Angela, in American Beauty, and you say that you understood her. How so?
Because I'd already been living that life more than once. I learned how to play that card. Oh, you want me to be sexy? Oh, you want me to flirt with an older man? Like, I know that dynamic.
And you write about an awkward moment you had when prepping for a scene with Kevin Spacey. Looking back, do you view it differently given the sexual assault allegations against him now?
When I talk about that moment, my focus is to show that it was just another moment where I ended up in a room as a young woman with an older man. And I was comfortable with that. I was okay with that. I talk about moving to Los Angeles and meeting a man who's more than 11 years older than me. I'm 15 and he's 26 and I'm somehow in his apartment and he's kissing me and that's okay. And I didn't tell anyone. No one was really asking, but I didn't think that that was important. I just thought that that was part of it. It was part of my job.
Looking back, do you think Hollywood is a safe space for a 15-year-old girl?
I try to talk about these things and address it in the book in regards to where I was at myself. And we're talking about the 90s too, and how it unfortunately is sort of like symbolic of what we think of happening in Hollywood.
That's why I asked, because it seems at that age, there did seem to be a number of people who took advantage of your vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and I try to sort of bring up those moments, like in writing this. And that's my biggest question. Why was it that I ended up in these rooms so casually and comfortably with older men at so many different moments? I didn't necessarily feel empowered. I tried to point out how there were moments there that I believe showcased like when my voice started to feel lost.
Do you think the Me Too movement in any way influenced how you processed those experiences?
Oh yeah, I thought I was alone and didn't think I had any other options. I didn't know how to say I was raped. I didn't know if I could say that. Why? Because I didn't end up in the hospital. So I lived with that for so long, thinking that like, well, what was my part in it? It's not black and white, and I'm happy to offer it up and have these conversations.
You're a mother now. How did becoming a mother help you heal and grow?
I mean, it's still happening. I ironically enough found out I was pregnant after I finished writing, which was so strange. And it's really been a process of incorporation for me because I'd come to believe that I would never have those things in my life. And so now I do, and it's incredible.
That hope and that faith, for sure. I want to thank you for having the bravery to share your story. And if you guys want to check out the book, The Great Peace, a memoir, is available in stores on July 27th. Thank you, Mena.
Thank you for having me.